We went on a Friday and I was back in school on Monday. And it was like
Nothing
ever happened. And I don't think I ever processed it. I didn't do anything. I just kept shoving it down. I lived in such shame and guilt. I mean, people would talk about that and I'd be like, oh no, whenever a friend, a sorority sister or anything would come up to me and they're like, I think I'm pregnant. Oh no, you've got to keep the baby. You got to do this. And I'm like, how can I give somebody that type of advice? But that's, in my mind, that's what was expected. That's how much of a stigma I felt that there was. And I never felt free to talk about it. And I never did. It's just something I kept buried for so long.
You explained to us and the viewers how God worked in you through that, how you worked through that with him, and how your relationship with God changed over time as you processed that.
Whenever somebody says, what's your testimony? I always think of, when did I accept Jesus as my savior, all those things. And I never thought I had a great story. My testimony is not necessarily always how and where I came to Christ. It's what brought me closer to him. And each time, even at the women's retreat, I was kind of waffling as to whether or not that was the right platform. And one of the ladies at my table was just telling a completely different story. She said, God's clock keeps perfect time. And I was like, that is God telling me that I need to share my story. And when I shared it that night, immediately I had at least 2 other people come up to me and say that they had a very, very similar story and they never had, peace with it either. And one person was just telling me that how brave I was and all these things. And I'm like, how can you be telling me that I'm brave? I committed this huge sin. And that's when I realized that I need to start a healing journey.